Welcome to the ShowBiz podcast with Robert Rabiah and Joey Coley-Sowry. This week's guest, Osamah Sami.
Osamah Sami is an award-winning Australian artist of Iraqi origin. Sami is an actor, writer, author, comedian and poet who is best known for his smash hit film Ali's Wedding, which he co-wrote and starred in, and which was based on Sami's own experiences. Ali's Wedding, and indeed Sami, received critical acclaim and went on to be acknowledged with a number of film awards, including an Australian Academy of Cinema and Television Arts Award for Best Screenplay for Sami, as well as a nomination for Best Lead Actor, an Australian Writers Guild Award for Best Screenplay, and the film also went on to win the Age Critics Award for Best Australian Feature Film at the Melbourne International Film Festival, the Audience Award at the Sydney Film Festival, and an Aria Award for Best Soundtrack, to name but a few. Osamah Sami's path hasn't always been easy, but it appears to have been clear. Sami joins the ShowBiz podcast to talk about forging his way in the Australian film industry, what it was like after the release and success of Ali's Wedding, and whether being a joke-cracking goalkeeper is merely a means to never let you see how hard he actually works at his craft.
Robert and Osamah have had the pleasure of working together and know each other quite well, so this week's episode began organically and without any real warning. With that said, strap yourself in for the entertaining hurricane that is Osamah Sami.
Yeah, Osamah, thank you so much for joining us.
Well,
it's
such a treat, man.
Really
what a pleasure.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Appreciate it. Look, firstly, I have to congratulate you on all your success. I mean, it couldn't have happened to a nicer person, and that's the God's honest truth.
Cheers, brother.
I mean, are you still pinching yourself?
Yeah, I am. And the more time that goes by, the more I find out what a surreal experience the whole Ali's Wedding, film was, and the reception to the film.
Yeah.
I went to the Sydney Film Festival last week.
Yes. We were actually...
Now, this dates the podcast because last week could mean anything by the time they're listening to it. Right. But anyway, so I went there and as you know very well, but this for the listeners, that we won Best Film, Best Audience Award for Best Feature Film out of like 270 films at a major film festival. Like, it was an unbelievable thing. Which
I think Sofia Coppola's film was also...
Sofia Coppola, we just nudged her out.
Just quietly.
a bit of context. And then it sort of, then we won, Age Critics Prize at MIFF and runner-up at the Audience Award at MIFF, and all the other stuff and the Actor Awards and all that sort of thing. But when I went to the Sydney Film Festival, this is 2 years had passed now, and I just saw the photographers taking photos of the cast of the opening night film, and they're walking past, and the people, like this, the State Theatre, Sydney State Theatre, that holds more than 2,000 people. Yeah. And it was packed, and I remember this is how it was for our film, but I don't remember experiencing it. I had the PR people just taking me from the hotel to do a bunch of interviews, to the red carpet. They take a few photos. You go in, you do an introduction to the movie, which is a blur. I just remember. So
it was almost an out-of-body experience in a way.
It was.
It's so quick.
It's quick, and it's, and it's kind of unnatural. Like, you're not feeling, you're in your body. It's not it's like flying, you're in a metal, piece of tube, but it's flying, and you kind of want to make sense of it, but you're like, if I think about this too much, I'll have a heart attack and die before the plane falls. It was just happening, and I'm like, okay, so there's 2,000 people sitting here at this amazing theatre, and by then, of course, we were just lucky to be at the festival. One of the 270 films playing. That's all we wanted. We didn't know we were going to win Best Film and any of that, but that itself was a buzz, and then introducing the film, saying a couple of jokes, which thank God they went down okay, and then talking about Australia being a land of story and song, and the traditional owners and the indigenous history of the country, and how we are part of that history as well now, being sort of immigrants or refugees or Middle East people from the Middle East, sure. And wanting to tell our stories as well, and And then next minute I'm sitting down next to Jeffrey, and next minute I'm in tears, and people are laughing, and credits roll, and there's more tears flowing, and then we're doing a Q&A, and I remember telling Jeffrey, I don't want to do the Q&A, man. I'm like, my heart's beating so fast, and then
because it was a personal story.
It was, and it was just that raw emotion, excitement of what a reaction. You don't expect it. You make a film, you hope it's good. But to get people responding to it in that way, then we do the Q&A, then there's the after party. It's all crazy. It's a blur. And then even the last year, I went to the Sydney Film Festival. I was still kind of, I walked in and be like, oh, that's the guy from Ali's wedding.
Had
and
it
whatever.
sunk in yet at this stage?
No, not by last year, because I was still the guy from Ali's wedding. This year, I'm 2 years ago's news, so nobody gives a fuck.
You're bona fide.
You've been listening to the ShowBiz podcast with Robert Rabiah and Joey Coley-Sowry.